Let's talk about local SEO secrets for family law firms. It's a question that comes up all the time. What's working today? What doesn't work? So let's spend just a quick few minutes talking about this. So first and foremost, I think something that's really underlooked or undervalued when it comes to local SEO is everybody trying to find these hacks and these things that they can do that'll make these major gains, these secrets that nobody knows about. And really, that's not how it works. There's some nuance there, as there always is when we're talking about search engine optimization. But ultimately, one of those things is click-through rate for terms related to your law firm name, your brand, right? So click-through rate, or as we call it, CTR, is important. So when people are searching for your brand name, and maybe they're doing your brand name plus a keyword, and then they actually click on your listing, they click through, or they click for driving directions, they're taking an action. That's showing that that user intent was likely satisfied. So we know, as Rand Fishkin's been talking about for years and years, and that also came out in the Google algorithm leaks, that click-through rate does matter. And that makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't it? Why would Google want to serve results to people that aren't clicking on them? That would show that they're not interested, pretty much. So let's assume Google's using that, even though I think we can say with 100% confidence they are, and we've seen tests to show that as well, even back in, what is that, 2018? No, before that even, 2015, 2013. Anyway, the point is, you need to make sure that that's happening. And you can increase those engagement signals by doing things by like having beautiful cover photos, beautiful imagery, making sure your profile is filled out. And then you can also encourage people to search that way as well. So we're not going to talk about CTR manipulation or any of that type of black hat stuff right now. So the sustainable strategy is build a brand. Tell people who you are. Get in front of your ideal audience. Have them talk about you. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. Real business stuff. So keep that in mind. Another one is, branded impressions. So again, that's really kind of the same thing, but without the click, where you're showing up, people are searching your brand name. You're showing up for a lot of different keywords and searches because they know your brand name. This is where offline marketing ties in with online marketing, and it's something that I think goes overlooked and something that's downplayed, specifically by internet marketers saying, hey, if you can't track it, it doesn't exist. That's really just not the case, especially now. We know, even in 2024, with all these tools available, we can track some things here and there. We can add tracking phone numbers. There's things that we can do, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing for you is signing high-value cases, and those come from the actions of building a brand and marketing your brand to people that will actually use your services, your ideal clients. So something to keep in mind then too. And, again, if you're building social profiles or you're building links, those are still important today. But, what's important now is not quantity. Let me get listed on 300 different places necessarily. A lot of them will end up being low value. I mean, just think about it yourself. How many legal directories come top of mind? There's probably 5, maybe like 10. What about these other thousands that are out there? Just being listed on the top personal injury lawyers who do xyz.com that get 0 website traffic. Is that going to benefit your firm? Is that catering to your ideal client? If not, don't get listed there. So citations also still very important. Make sure those are consistent. Old habits die hard. For me, that's something, again, that's your business name, address, and phone number on a third-party website like Yelp or FindLaw, these legal directories. Just make sure that information's accurate, more so these days for the user. Like if you want somebody to call you, you want to make sure you have the right phone number for your firm that's today, not the one from 6 years ago, if you have a very well-established firm. On-page optimization, that plays a huge role too. Your Google business profile, which is your Google Maps listing essentially. And it feeds to Google Maps. But anyway, the website connected to that, your landing page, that has to be localized for the location in the title tag and the content. Talk about where you are. Talk about the area you service. That's something we encourage our clients to really double down on. So, we've talked about a million strategies over the years, like maybe leaving keywords in reviews, and there's no real evidence that we've seen that, like maybe anecdotally, that could work. But anyway, if you're focusing that as a primary strategy to move your rankings, it's probably the wrong area to focus on because it's not something that we've seen make a big impact. And that would be the same in our case with GBP posting. However, the supplementary benefit is you're getting probably more clicks and more interaction on your profile if you are doing the posting. So all these things kind of like come hand in hand. And of course, in 2024, there's still some ranking things that are super important that have not gone away or even changed, really, not even been diminished to the point that they should have been, like having a keyword-rich business name. Again, your business has to be what its legal name is, so you have to represent it the same way online and what your signage says. Otherwise, you can get suspended or get the listing taken down for that. And then, of course, your Google business profile only ranks in a certain area. If you're located in Denver, Colorado, if that's where but your law firm is taking cases in Fort Collins, if you want to show up in the local search results there up north, you're going to need another office. So that's an expansion strategy that you can undertake if you're looking to grow. If you're maxed out your market per se, you've gotten as good as you're going to get where you're at. We also find that open hours affect rankings. If your business is showing closed when people are searching, you're less likely to show up in search results in some searches. Again, that's a bit inconsistent, but we've seen it kind of both ways. So something I want to play there. Your Google business category, your primary category has to be the most specific to what you offer. Again, family lawyer. If you're a family law firm, but you're primarily doing divorce cases, your primary category should be divorce lawyer, okay? Because that's where you're going to get a higher visibility for the cases that you actually want. It's important on your Google business listing as well to constantly upload photos, new photos, not just photos that you've taken from stock photos. Those are so overdone. How boring are they, right? Like, you should have your own photography. Showcase who you really are. Let people see you. Let them get to the point where they can know, like, and trust you over time, right? So that's definitely important. I think I mentioned consistent reviews. Actually, I probably didn't, but consistent reviews, also one of those things that just kind of needs to keep happening. It needs to be a part of your firm's process. You reward your intake staff, reward the people answering the phone. Every time they get a review, here's a $5 gift card. That adds up. It's gamification, and we've seen a lot of success doing things like that. I always see success with any type of gamification, and if it's built into your culture, especially around reviews, you're going to get more. And don't just think, even if you're a low volume firm, I'm only taking on, 10 high net worth divorce cases this year. You know what? How many other times does your phone ring? Every time your phone rings, that's an opportunity to provide value, build goodwill, build your brand, build that trust, and ask for a review. And you can ask anybody for a review that you've had an interaction with, and make it easy for them. I'll put a tool on our website where you can just get a QR code. So anybody that comes into your office, whether it's for a client meeting, if they've had a win in their case, have your case staff, have your the people working the case reach out, the attorneys or the support staff, and ask for that review then. It doesn't have to wait to the end of a case. Keep that in mind. So we're continuing to test local SEO always, but in 2024, these local SEO ranking factors still have an impact. So these are the ones I'd pay attention to if I needed to get my client higher ranking in their geographic area for keywords that are going to drive more cases that they want.